fascinating facts about the Philippines. Hello to you on the other side and welcome back to my channel Fact District. Before we kickstart with today's discussion, I would like to take a moment to suggest you subscribe to our channel. We post new content every day, and don't forget to ring the bell icon below. Today's center of discussion is all about the Philippines. Who would not desire to go to this beautiful country in Southeast Asia? This country has a long past full of splendid historical events and a list of yummy-licious cuisines. Before any further ado, I would like to break to you about some of the very interesting facts about the Philippines. Please note that by the end of this video, you will surely put this country on your travel bucket list, and your desire to visit this country will get heightened even more intensely. So, shall we begin? Number 9. The Philippines is ranked as the world's second highest producer and exporter of coconuts. Did you know that every year about 19.5 million tons of coconuts are produced and exported to different countries like China, Japan, the United States, Germany, and the list goes on? The coconut production in the country contributes heavily to the local economy as well. Coconuts are not just limited to their consumption. The leftover coconut trees are used as a primary source of livelihood for about 1/3 of the Philippines population. No wonder coconut trees are also called the tree of life out there. Number 8. The Philippines is regarded as one of the most social media savvy countries on earth. Yes, it's true. It is technically proven that when social media platforms come into the picture, the Philippines are said to be miles ahead of all the other nations. Filipinos are also regarded to be extremely friendly in person. This is because they are so involved in their social media accounts. Did you know their enthusiasm in Facebook and Instagram is so much that the country was soon ranked as the highest selfie taker country in the whole world? Filipinos love texting. The amount of time they devote to their social media is so high that the country was also nicknamed the texting capital of the whole world. Frankly speaking, I'm not sure whether that is supposed to be a compliment or an insult towards a nation. Did you know the total number of messages sent by all the Filipinos is estimated to be around 400 million texts per day? But the number keeps differing regularly. In this sense, the number keeps growing as more and more people gain access to mobile devices and social media platforms. Apart from being social media savvy, Filipinos are also said to be tech savvy as well. In the Philippines, you will come across people of all age groups active on all kinds of social media platforms posting something. Number 7. Filipinos are big foodies. These days, who's not a foodie? Any normal person would enjoy eating. But when we talk about the Philippines, did you know they have around 4 meals a day? Yes, it's official now. You shouldn't be surprised if you spot any Filipino munching on something during mid-morning, even after having a heavy breakfast. It is basic for them to have a cup of coffee or some other beverage along with bread during their mid-morning break. This meal is locally called pandesal. After that, they have their lunch in the afternoon, followed by their afternoon snack or some dessert, which is locally called merienda. Who says rice is a compulsory food item only in India? Speaking of the Philippines, rice is like salt of food for them. So rice is very important in Filipino cuisine, and locals in general prefer having rice in every meal. Number 6. Filipinos' version of McDonald's. Filipinos also have their version of McDonald's, and that is none other than Jollibee. Jollibee is a famous ubiquitous fast food chain in the Philippines. It is widely accepted, and all the Filipinos out there are big fans of Jollibee's food. They serve their famous tuna pie and bacon burgers, which the Filipinos cherish every time. Initially, Jollibee had started as a small ice cream parlor. However, due to its boom in services, the Filipino owner Tony Tran had decided to grow its business, and he soon evolved his business into a big fast food chain selling burgers and hot dogs. Number 5. Their interesting source of public transportation. Like autos or a general means of public transportation in India, in the Philippines, it was jeepney. They are the most popular and feasible ways of going around the city. The vehicle looks super attractive as they are full of beautiful colors, and they also look tacky yet attractive. If you look to socialize and come across new people, well, then you have to try jeepneys in the Philippines. They are super fun to go around the city and come across a few locals. Speaking of the history of this fun and exciting ride, it all began many decades and centuries back when the US military was based in the country. The US military was the one who introduced jeepney to this beautiful country of the Philippines, but they were not called the same back then. It was then called the Willys. approximately back around during the Second World War. Later on, after the war ended, Filipinos got their hands over Willys, and they then modified the majority of its parts and renamed it Jeepney. Isn't that interesting? Number 4, the Filipino flag. Wow, did you know the meaning of the Filipino flag? The flag indicates either at war or peace. The Filipino flag is regarded as the only country flag in the world that can scale and determine whether the Philippines is at peace or at war with a particular country, depending upon its series of operations with the opposite country. Therefore, there are only 2 options for the country, whether to shake hands or walk on the other path. The Filipino flag is divided into 2 parts which are colored with 2 different strips, red and blue. When the country is at peace, the flag is flown with blue at the top, and when the country is at war, the flag is flown with red at the top. Red is a visual symbol of blood directing towards war. On the flip side, blue is regarded as a color indicating peace and harmony. If you would have noticed, the flag also consists of a white triangle with a sun which is surrounded by 3 golden stars. These 3 golden stars represent the 3 island groups of the Philippines, namely Mindanao in the south, Luzon located in the north, and last but not least, Visayas located in the center. These 3 islands are regarded as important islands and are also called the Principal Islands. Why are they called Principal Islands? It's because the Spanish Revolution had majorly begun in those 3 islands. Number 3, a hub of many languages. The Philippines is now regarded as a hub for many languages. But did you know there are about 175 individual languages spoken in the Philippines? After long research, they concluded that out of 175 languages spoken in the Philippines, 171 languages still exist, whereas the remaining languages don't have any known speakers. Number 2, their popular snack. Ever heard of balot? I doubt you have. It is a really popular and yummy snack cherished by the majority of Filipinos. For those who are not well acquainted with what exactly balots are, well, they are nothing but fertilized duck embryos. The age of these fertilized duck embryos ranges from about 17 days old. Filipinos describe it to be the most fantastic dish in Filipino cuisine. I know. It can be really difficult for you to digest the fact, and you won't believe it until and unless you see it in person. But the fact is, Filipinos cherish this dish and love to savor it. The dish is served with a touch of vinegar, which acts complementary to the taste. In general, we might find the dish to be mild, whereas the dish's texture seems quite challenging. The dish is said to be nutritious as well as a treat to appetite. Don't be surprised if you spot any locals boiling the embryo and then simply gobbling it down. It's another common way of consuming balot. They have it straight out of the shell. Number 1, rise of the first LGBTQ political party. The Philippines is regarded as the most gay-friendly country globally where discrimination does not take place. Danton Remoto had created the first LGBTQ political party in the whole world. Isn't that a matter of pride for all the LGBTQ members? So this brings us to the end of the video. Hope you are overwhelmed by all the fascinating facts laid over by us. Don't forget to like and subscribe.